Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kathy Hester, and welcome to my kitchen. It's a wild ride the past couple of weeks, and Max says he hopes that you're doing well, if you can hear him. What he really means is, I hear you talking to that camera, and I want a treat. So, I see a couple people are on. Please tell me hello, tell me where you're from, what the weather is like. How are you doing? You hanging in there? Today is a much better day for me. My mood is definitely elevated. I took along bipedal practice. Can't say the W word because of the dog. And that seemed to help my mood a little bit. My foot's been a little iffy, but it was well worth it. I also took a very, very, very long shower. And that seemed to wash away a lot of my negativity. So I hope if you're having a bad day, I say try a long shower, take a little, something in your neighborhood. Siri is trying to talk to me again, even though I am not saying her name. So what we're going to do today, as you can see, like the kitchen is a little less perfect every time. It's never perfect any time, but I'm making some coffee. I have some ingredients out that I'm going to be making things for later. One of the things I hear from some of my fellow bloggers is, I can't go live because my kitchen isn't clean or perfect. And you know what? I say do it anyhow, right? We're here to support each other. Just like people who come visit me, my whole thing is, if you can't deal with the fact that my house doesn't look like Home and Gardens, then you shouldn't be in my house. However, I'm glad that you're here and you're supporting me as much as I'm supporting you. And Miss Joanne says Southwest Florida is 88. I think it's supposed to be like 82 or 84 here today, and it's very blustery. So the hair is going to go. I keep hearing some things moving by the window, so that's kind of exciting too. So yesterday we marinated some tempeh. Let me turn it back upside down. And let me reiterate this. This is an airtight container. That's why I could flip it over. Know that it's an airtight container before you put the stuff in there. So if you're not sure, or you've got something at the thrift store, put some water, seal it, and put it over the sink. That way you don't lose a whole marinade if for some reason it's defective. That is my PSA for the day. And let me show you. It smells lovely, you guys, this bacon. Let me show you from overhead a little bit. And so that's the tempeh I sliced yesterday. And if you go to the video from yesterday, in the comments, Dawn wrote down the marinade that we used. Hi, Miss Pam from Tampa, and it's hot. I know, and I think it's supposed to go back in the 40s next week here. So I'm kind of like, I'm never going to know what temperature it's going to be. And I guess I'll just be happy with that. I see a lot more people are on. So what we're doing is we're doing kind of part 2 of I can marinate the tempeh and cook it up in a pan. And if you need to Google that, do. It is a song from a silly commercial from a very long time ago. So we have our marinated tempeh. And again, I'll show you from overhead because it's just exciting to look at things overhead. Woo! And so the marinade again, and I will come back and put this wherever the words are, depending on where you're watching this, below, above, to the side. Dawn, in a comment, wrote down the ingredients of the marinade because I just made it up yesterday. And so I will either link to that video or something or other. And Sherry says it's 37 in Michigan. And Joe says hello from Batavia, Illinois. Hey, Cheryl, is that how you say it? What? Batavia? Batavia. Cheryl's from around there. Batavia, Illinois. Any regular viewers know that pronunciation is not like my strong suit. So I see even more of you are here. So I think I billed this as a video in which it made me think of Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, because there was always this in which this and that. So in today's video, we are going to cook up the tempeh we made yesterday that's been marinated for 24 hours. And we're going to make air-fried green beans, and we're going to eat them with our little tempeh sandwiches and pretend that they're French fries. Well, not really. They'll probably be better than French fries. And there's a couple different ways you can go with these. So let me show you this. These were, in fact, in a bag from my order that I got from Instacart that I don't usually get. So it was these guys. Usually I would not be buying those, but they are here. They are ready. They already have the ends broken off. It's perfect for me to go ahead and get working with it. You know, go ahead and just toss it up with some stuff. Because I don't know about you, but cooking meals for the whole family constantly can be a little exhausting. So we can do this a few different ways. So I have a recipe in my book, Vegan Cooking in Your Air Fryer, where you do a whole assembly line, and we dip them in aquafaba, and we dip them in flour, and we dip them in aquafaba, and we dip them in breadcrumbs, and then they still come out looking a little bit freckled, like it doesn't all stay on. I today am not willing to do that. Like I said earlier, I'm in a really good mood. And I would like this not to put me in a bad mood. So we're going to roast them, and because these are so beautiful and really uniform, because that's what they do in the packages, we could do this a couple of ways. I could just have them wet, and I could put a little bit of salt and something like a Cajun spice blend on there and have that happen. We could put even some garam masala and chickpea flour and let them have a little Indian tinge to it. But what I'm going to do is put a little bit of tamari. You could use balsamic vinegar instead. Okay, so, and I'm just putting on probably a teaspoon or two. I want just enough to coat the beans. Okay, and Kathy says it's 50 degrees in Carbondale. And Sherry says we have our first confirmed case here in my county, a woman who does a lot of international travel. Well, I wish health to her and to you. And see, if you can see here in the bottom, can you guys see that a little bit? That's probably a little more than I needed to add. So I would even start out with just 1 teaspoon or a half a teaspoon. Okay. And then I think what I'm going to do, Pam says she's from Orange County. That is next door to me. I actually live right by Hillsborough, so we drive past the Orange County line and the Durham County line all the time. So welcome and thanks for joining me. I have been using the sesame seed blend, Gamashio, which I'm probably mispronouncing, but basically it's sesame seeds ground with sea salt and seaweed. And Cheryl may or may not be listening now, and the secret may be out because she didn't know about the seaweed. And she's been asking for it. So I'm probably going to put several tablespoons of this on. And actually, let's look. Because what I want is I kind of want it to be salty. And you can get this without salt. You could just do sesame seeds or toss them in tahini. I'm just trying to make them look a little interesting. Okay, and if you wanted to, this blend is not very salty. You could also do something like make some sort of wasabi mayo dip for these, or just to leave them as they are. I'm going to leave them as they are. It just depends on how fancy you want to get and how exciting life can be for you today. And Pam says we live in Cedar Grove, north of Hillsborough, before moving to Tampa. Oh, awesome. Okay. So, and hello, new people. You guys just keep coming on and on. So what I've done is I've taken some freakishly uniform green beans that came from a package. I have tossed them with a little bit of soy sauce and some of the seaweed sesame seed salt blend that you can make at home. I got it like 50% off or more at at the Earth Fair sale. So what I'm going to do is when this is empty, I'm just going to make up a bunch more. I've really enjoyed having it around. So I have a large, this is the Instant Pot regular air fryer. Hey, Miss Dawn. And so I'm going to just kind of put these in here. It's not going to be exactly a single layer. And if you have a small pan, so let's see, how many ounces of beans? That's a pound of green beans. Okay, and there's a little bit of soy sauce in here, so I'm going to kind of spread it around on top, and I am going to get a spatula so that I can scrape all those yummy, yummy, yummy sesame seeds out because I do not want to lose them. Okay, and we can spread them around a little bit, but there's just no reason not to. I have a lot of spatulas. Some of them are from going to bloggers conferences. And actually, I think this was a Follow Your Heart one. But I get all different kinds of crazy things, little cheap spatulas and potato peelers and yummy things that I enjoy. Okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to put this over in the air fryer. And I think I'm going to go ahead for the Instant Pot air fryer, which I just got this December. I like it because right now it's my largest volume one and it works really well. It has a roast setting and an air fry setting. And I'm going to try and roast these first. So it has a preheat setting that just magically happens that I don't use, but I use it as a reminder to shake the stuff I have in there. Okay, so I'm putting it in here. Putting it on roast. We're only going to put it on, we're going to change the time to maybe 10 minutes to check on it. And that's at 390. I haven't made these before. Like many of the things that we're doing here on exciting lunch weekdays. But what I want to show you is that it's okay not to know everything that's going on. A lot of things are uncertain right now, and there's no reason while we're feeling this to not just go ahead and try something new and fun. Like me using my crazy induction burner. Okay, so I'm going to see, some of these are very thin and they may break. So I'm going to cook up some of this bacon. So this is just plain tempeh. See, this one is not even. It is not the best example of my tempeh work. I'm going to take a bunch of these in here. My pan is not hot yet, which is why I can touch it with my hand. It's going to heat up pretty quickly though. Okay. So let's try this mini in. Actually, I'm just going to take this guy out because he's going to end up being crumbles. And let's put in a, what is it, a star player or whatever they say. I'm such a sports gal, aren't I? Okay. So, how are you guys doing? What are you having for lunch? Did you marinate your tempeh yesterday along with me? Or are you waiting for me to taste it and see if it turned out really good or not? Both answers are perfectly fine. I'm going to get another spatula for making my sandwich. Let's see, did that move? Yeah, that moved. All right. So who is singing along with the song, the old commercial song? And Joanne said, I cut them yesterday. It wasn't a good day for slicing tempeh. I was a little cranky yesterday. I was not feeling all of the loving kindness out in the world like I am today. I'm usually pretty good at keeping a positive attitude, but you know, sometimes things are harder than others. And let me also get a big spatula. Oh, it smells really good. That I can tell you. Now, what I can't tell you is how easy or hard it's going to be to turn this in this little pan. And so I'm going to check it. It's not quite brown enough for me. Okay, it's starting to brown, but let's get it a little bit browner and maybe turn down the temperature a little bit to 900 watts. This is why I get confused. It's in watts, and I don't really know what that means. It does say boil, stir fry, roast, stew, soup, simmer, but those just aren't terms that I'm used to thinking in. That's still a little preemptive. I think I would like this little guy. Yeah, these guys are. This little super thin guy is going to be ready before everybody else because he's like that. Okay. And here you can watch my not so fancy footwork going on here. Yes, it does smell good. Cheryl says, ooh, it smells good. Of course it does. It's bacon. Only it's the kind of bacon that doesn't hurt anyone to eat unless you're soy intolerant, and then that may be a whole different story for you. And I apologize for that. There is a kind of not soy-free tempeh you can get. I think I have one in here right now somewhere. Yeah. One thing we will not be seeing is the inside of Kathy's freezer. While I'm over here, I'm going to just shake those beans. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your beans. Yep, I went there. Okay, so Smiling Hara is tempeh that I have talked about before. And it is from Asheville, North Carolina. No, it is not. It is from Bernardville, North Carolina, near Asheville. So like this one is soy-free, gluten-free, protein-rich, and vegan-vegetarian. And it's made with peanuts and hemp seeds. So it's kind of interesting. I made this last night, and we can talk about some of that. It's delicious. It is spicy. This one is the raspberry habanero barbecue, and it is spicy. So I cut it into little teeny tiny croutons and sprinkled on our dish, and I think that that turned out quite well. Oh, it smells so good, you guys. And I turned it down a little bit. Yeah, this guy was going to break. I knew it. I had so much faith in you, little guy. Okay. And we just want to get a little bit of char on there. And you can make this crunchier by actually putting it in the air fryer. You could also oven fry a whole bunch. So like if you had one day in the future when we can have parties again, and you're having the big brunch you've always dreamed of, you could do a few packets of this marinated ahead of time and then bake it in sheet pans. The world is your tempeh bacon. Okay. And this guy's just going to be mine. It's okay. I knew he probably was going to break apart. And here's the thing. You can be super particular about slicing your tempeh, or it can be good enough. That's up to you. So I'm making a sandwich. So I got 2 pieces of, it's Northern Bakehouse. It's a gluten-free vegan bread that's a little expensive, but it's so soft and nice that I don't want to toast it. I have no tomatoes right now. So I am going to make not a BLT as usual. You know, usually we change the tempeh for the tofu, so there's going to be just bacon, lettuce, sandwich with a whole lot of veggies. So that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going with all this. Okay, those look pretty good. And I'm going to turn that off and let it just kind of sit there for a minute. Let's see. Oh, I did not push in the green beans enough. I'll show you where they are right now. Right, so that's out after about 5 minutes. You could eat them right now, but see how that, I would like them to be a little bit less fresh tasting. I would like them to be a little more roasted tasting. So this time I'm actually going to go to air fry and let them air fry for 5 more minutes. They taste really good. Good morning, Miss Brandy. Yeah, I love this bread, and I have some lettuce, probably extra lettuce. I'm going to be making my sandwich before Cheryl's sandwich, which I don't usually do, because it feels a little like Christmas. Now, I have a tiny bit of vegan mayonnaise to scrape out of this jar, so I am treating myself and using this. If you do not eat oil of any kind ever, do not feel pressured. This is actually an avocado mayo I made earlier. It is oxidized on the top right now, so I'm going to dig under the oxidization, which is gone. It's not a spring chicken, this avocado mayo right now. And so this is pretty much, let me find a way to get this stuff over here. And it's still good. It's just a little oxidized. And so all I did was blend an avocado with a little bit of aquafaba and some vinegar, apple cider vinegar. So that's one thing you could do. You could leave nothing like that on it, should you want to. That is also an option. Oh, and Joanne said, I just checked my air fryer because yours was beeping. I've done that before. Okay, I'm just taking some of this cooked bacon. And right now I'm not cooking all the rest of the bacon, though I might. I might after we get off this live. I am just sitting the strips over here, and I don't care that some of them tore in half because my bread is not this long. Can you guys see? I mean, my bread is half the size. So these little bitty pieces that went bad. when good tempeh goes bad, what to do? It tastes really good. I'm very excited about that. And you could fry it until it's crispier. This is just where I want it right now. There is no judgment should you want yours crispier or not. And Dawn says she might eat some avocado mayo. So while the fries are finishing up, ooh, here's a little piece of bacon that needs to be in my mouth. I think it looks really good. So, there's a piece of that lettuce that doesn't look so good, I'll pick off. So basically, I'm going to put my spread of choice. And you know what? If you make something like, you could use a little bit of vegan yogurt with just a tiny bit of mayo, and that would be good to make. Dawn hates all white spreads, which I don't quite understand, but she doesn't really like vinegar either, which most white spreads contain. So I can.
A lot of people that don't like white spreads.
Cheryl's saying, I know a lot of people who don't like it. Okay, so maybe I'll add an extra piece of lettuce for that extra salad feeling. Okay. Trying to get my computer moved to get everything where I want it to be. And the avocado mayo is good. And so I'm going to do that. If you had tomatoes, you could put tomatoes on here too, and that would be super, super good, especially if they were fresh garden tomatoes. And that is when it goes, hey, add food. I am up to temperature now. So that's what I was saying. So I think we're each going to get 3 pieces on our sandwich. And you would put a beautiful tomato there. I am going to put, let's see which, yeah, it's this way. I'm going to put a little bit more of the spread on mine because I'm seriously scraping this jar clean. I am feeling the need to not waste a single thing. Just not a single thing. I don't know if you guys are feeling that too. Even though the food supply and the food chains are doing just fine, there's just something about all the change that makes it kind of hard, I think. So, okay. And then we can save this part for Cheryl. Let me get a knife so I can cut mine. I'm going to also, ooh, yeah, that's where I want them. Okay, I think I'm going to stop there. And I'll bring over a knife too. And a hot plate. You guys, it's already starting to get pollen all over everything. I just wiped off this counter like not 5 minutes ago, and there's pollen everywhere. So see how they've kind of roasted down a little bit more? Gotten a little wrinkly. Oh my God, they're so good. Forgive me. These don't taste like you just put a little bit of something on there. The roasting really brings out the flavors in the soy sauce. And again, you could totally do this in balsamic vinegar if you're on a no salt diet. There's just no reason you couldn't. They would end up being a little bit sweeter, and that's awesome. In this case, I believe the people who are no salt often eat no seeds. So the sesame seeds may be a moot thing, but you could put in some California balsamic teriyaki infused balsamic vinegar. Toss that with maybe, again, like I think it would just be a teaspoon for a pound of beans, just enough to coat them up, and then you could crumble seaweed on them, either before or after. You could actually crisp up some nori and put that on top, and that would be beautiful. What a pretty lunch, right? Okay, so I'm going to cut my sandwich, and I'm cutting it in diagonals because I'm not a serial killer. You people that cut your sandwiches in half the other way, I just don't know. And you can kind of see it here. See it this way too. Yum. If you don't eat bread or any flours, you can still enjoy this tempeh bacon. You could crumble it up. You could make a BLT salad. So we could put romaine and arugula and spinach and any kind of greens that you want. Chop up tomatoes. Maybe cook this a little bit extra and crumble it up on top. I think that would be delicious too. I'm so happy. I wish I could just put one of you guys on to talk and I could eat my lunch and answer some questions. So today what we did is we cooked up our bacon in a pan. We made sandwiches with it. We talked about how we can make BLT sandwiches. You can also make these into kind of like little crunchy croutons, or, you know, even little crunchy crumbles. And you can put them on top of pasta or salads or soups, really anything. Yesterday we talked about if you are gluten-free, read what's in the tempeh, right? So it's not just when there's peanut hemp tempeh, like I showed you earlier, but like Trader Joe's has a 3-grain tempeh that has barley in it, and barley has gluten. And that is unfortunate because it was delicious. But just read the packages just in case. And Cindy says it looks awesome. Thank you. I wish you all could have some of these beans because they're good. And here's the other thing about these beans, is that's a lot of beans for 2 people. But you know what? We can indulge in that. If I had this many French fries, I would feel bloated and bad, and that's a lot of oil unless I made them from scratch. So if I did frozen fries. This has no oil. Took almost no effort because I got the fancy ones in the bag because we ordered in, and we can split half of these and feel no guilt, and in fact feel glad that we've eaten, you know, 2 or 3 cups of vegetables apiece for lunch. And that's not bad for having a sandwich. Okay, guys, I am not sure what I'm doing tomorrow, so if you have some ideas of something that you really want to know about, let me know. Tomorrow is not the layered Instant Pot cooking class. Sunday is the layered cooking class, and that was a scream. I don't know if you could hear it. I'm pretty sure it was just a child screaming. Or the zombie apocalypse, but I'm going with a child screaming. So I think what we may do, I'm just not sure. So anyhow, leave me some questions. I know there are some questions that are to be answered. Oh, I don't know what I'm cooking tomorrow. Class, first March class is Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, layered meals. Buy one class for March for $35 each. There's 2 classes, or buy both classes for $50 on sale. And that is also in these kind of comments somewhere around this video. So I would love, love, love to have you in class. This week we're going to do things like mushroom dirty rice and red beans cooking together, polenta and a cannellini beans or a white bean stew. May not be cannellini beans. Haven't checked my bean stores to see which ones I have. So we're going to cook 4 or 5 different meals that are meals cooked at the same time, but yet are not one pot meals, okay? And then next Saturday, not this Saturday, at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be making vegetable stuff in the air fryer. And this was not even on my agenda. So we'll be doing something like this. It's simple, it's easy. I think I had corn on the cob on the list, and if I can find some frozen, we can do it. If not, we may switch that a little bit and do something different. But other than that, things should change. Things should stay the same. I think I need to eat something, you guys. Joanne's looking forward to the classes, and so is Cindy, and so is Dawn, and so am I. And so please click a link, join in. Also, if you go to Kathy, and this is at kathyhester.podia, Podia.com, is where you'll find these new classes. I have some older pre-recorded classes from last year that are amazing still, and I have those on sale for $20 each instead of $35 each. And you can get those at kathy-hester.teachable.com and use the code Eat Healthy, Be Kind. And that's what I'm going to end up with. I want you to take care of yourself, eat healthy, drink lots of water, get enough sleep, get outside, even if it's just opening your window and sticking your head out for a minute, get some fresh air, and be as kind and helpful as you can be. Okay? And I'll talk to you guys sometime tomorrow.